I believe that all of our products within our portfolio have worked well together and have all given an accurate representation of our short film, and as a result I feel that all of the products would work well in a real commercial context. As well as our short film, our portfolio contains a poster of the film and a review of the film, with each adopting a similar style and theme. I feel that our poster was very effective in representing specific elements of our film, in which here we had to think carefully about how we were going to present our poster without giving away too much information about the film, yet still connoting part of the narrative within the image. We were able to create our poster by researching specifically into the conventions that film posters adopt. Some of the conventions that we found were that the poster should contain the main characters within the image, be it either edited on a background or placed in a setting that's apparent within the narrative. Also, the image used should connote some of the elements of the film, and another convention is that the colours used are to reflect the theme, mood and genre, and even possibly reflect some of the events that may occur in the film. There were many decisions and trial and error to be made within the decision of the design of our poster. We did in fact take many photos for our poster, in which we tried to express the feelings of the word betrayal, and at the same time try not to give too much away, and of course the twist away within the poster. One of these images was this one, which shows the relationship between the dad and the mother, with the daughter sat in the middle with an angry or upset expression. This is highlighting certain parts of the narrative of the film, as well as certain aspects of the intended mood. However, after creating this poster draft, we felt that this gave too much of the narrative away, and we also found it very difficult to find a suitable background which would highlight both the narrative and the mood of the film. We therefore decided that we would not use any of the photos that were taken during our photo shoot for our film poster, and we felt that using screen grabs from our film would be the most effective. The first screen grab that we felt may be appropriate was this one. Here it shows the reaction of the daughter finding out that her father is actually Father Christmas, and therefore connoting feelings of the title, betrayal. Here is a draft that we created upon this image. We still felt it was essential in displaying certain aspects of a Christmas-themed film, which is the reason why these additional images, for example, the holly, were added in. This image, however, did not leave us enough room for an eye-catching title or space for reviews that we were able to make stand out. The only thing that the audience could really focus on was the image, and that alone will not really reflect anything about the narrative or even the mood. We then created an additional poster, which we decided upon to be our final one. However, we do know that it is common to have multiple posters within short films, so we could in fact use both. The final poster we created was this one. Here we felt that all of the conventions that we wanted to be apparent were able to be displayed within this poster. Here we can see the facial expression of the daughter, which is showing her reaction to receiving a present, and obviously this is not the usual response for a reaction of a young girl her age, and so therefore this interests the audience and indicates the feeling of betrayal, which therefore is reflecting certain elements of the film. As well as this, the Christmas theme is also able to be highlighted within the poster. We can see that the presents are wrapped in Christmas wrapping, and to the right we can just about see the Christmas tree, and so therefore in one image we have been able to represent part of what the narrative contains, the mood and the theme, all of which what we found to be the conventions of a film poster. This image also left us enough room to fit in the title in a big bold font, highlighting that betrayal is the name of the film, and also allowed the audience to know what the film may be about. We feel that this poster gives us just enough information to market the film, and will engage the audience to want to know more about the film. Another benefit to using this image for our poster is that it also contains the other main characters, however not their whole body due to the framing of the shot focusing on the daughter. It however represents that the girl belongs in a family. Most of the audience that sees this image would instinctively guess that it is her mother and father sitting beside her, due to this being a traditional event happening during Christmas, in which our target audience, or in fact most people, would be able to relate to. In addition, we can also see that the watch on the father's hand is in shot, and this is also an important element within our film, as it is used to link the plot together. However, this is not really made obvious enough for the audience as an important thing to focus on, as it is placed in the background of the image and slightly out of focus. On the other hand, we feel that this does not matter too much, as there would not really be any way to display the watch as important out of context without giving the plot away in one image, and so therefore this did not necessarily matter. We felt that it was more important that the audience are able to be drawn to the daughter and her facial expressions, and this will highlight a more important part of the narrative than the watch will accordingly. I feel that the colours that we used for our text on the poster were appropriate, although it does not exactly link in with the intended mood that the word betrayal connotes. We feel that this white colour was appropriate as it fits in with the Christmas theme that we are also aiming for this film to achieve. Through all of these elements, we have been able to create a cohesive product that will be able to attract our audience. This poster could be placed on places such as buses, bus stops, billboards, and in shops, and even displayed outside small cinemas that show short films. Another place that we can market our film poster is on short film festival websites, as most people that visit that website will be people who are interested in short films, and therefore may be interested to have a look at ours after viewing our poster. I feel that all of the elements used and conventions that have been adopted appropriately will work successfully as a marketing product and will help attract the desired demographic. Moving on to the review, I also feel that our review is effective as we copied the style of the Little White Lies magazine. By this we adopted the features and conventions that were used within the magazine reviews, and then used these to replicate their review style. Two features that we adopted from the Little White Lies reviews was the type of language used and the layout. The image that we used at the top is the same picture as we used for our poster, however a little more zoomed in. One of the conventions of the Little White Lies reviews is that the image at the top should be a screen grab of the film, in which ours is. We felt that this was the only image within our film that again represented the feelings of the word betrayal without giving too much information away of the narrative, and so therefore this is the reason why we had to use the same image for the review and the poster. The reason for it being more zoomed in is that the written review concentrates quite thoroughly on just the daughter and the storyline. Another reason is that you can also see her facial expression, nothing else, unlike the poster where you can also see her receiving a present, which indicates more about the narrative than this does. And so therefore, as a result, the reader will be more intrigued here to find out why she is feeling like that within the film, and will also want to make the audience read the review to find out more information about the film. The written review itself markets itself by, for example, describing the daughter in certain ways. Here it says, adapting into her convincing role as a cheerful and lively daughter, and this description is not in fact parallel with the image presented above this, as here she would be described as sad or upset. This will therefore lead the audience to wonder why she is feeling like this prior to such positive descriptions of her, and will therefore make the reader want to watch the film. The review also goes on to discuss the narrative, such as naming different scenes, for example, eating the chocolates from the calendar, decorating the Christmas tree, and the scene of the father and daughter playing in the snow together. It also mentions that something will happen within the film, which the audience may not necessarily expect, by describing it as an unexpected twist, and she finds out about something unnerving which will forever change her view on the festive celebration. Here I feel that the review has given just about the right amount of detail about the narrative, without giving too much away to spoil it for the viewer. Overall, the effectiveness of all three products I feel work well together. The poster is eye-catching and highlights certain aspects such as clues of the narrative, genre and the theme. The only disadvantage is that a screen grab was used, which is usually not the case within a film poster. The review also gives a detailed perspective of the film without giving too much away, and therefore, taking all this into account, I feel that the ancillary tasks have been put together with thorough thought, and it would most definitely convince the audience to go and view the film. One last thing is how we would go about marketing our film, and how we'd get people to view it or find out about it. Here is a site called Launching Films, in which it takes you through the steps on how to market and distribute your films, even down to how to go about the planning process of this. First of all, there is the marketing process, in which it mentions on this site that every film has a detailed marketing plan. The first stage of this for us to think about is who, what, where, when and how. We would then need to start thinking about strategies to motivate our audience's awareness or interest in the film, which would then lead to the last stage in which we would finalise these techniques. One way films are able to be distributed is known as word of mouth. Here is a quote from Stuart Williams in which he mentions that social recommendation is key. A personal recommendation from a friend, colleague or relative can be the most powerful trigger for a cinema visit. As we're all college students, this would most definitely be a key technique in how we would go about distributing our film. For example, Facebook in our generation would most definitely be vital in securing word of mouth. There are many videos on this site of industry specialists talking about certain techniques within the marketing and distribution process. Below this video I have posted the videos that I feel are necessary in order to help us with this process.